Hello. Happy Friday to those of you on Instagram and our Facebook page, and those of you who are watching on the replay over on our YouTube channel, or just watching on the replay now. This is something that you're gonna want to stick around, and today we're talking about speech language pathologists and how they can help in your child's school. Whether you're homeschooling or private schooling or public schooling or unschooling, whatever it is you're doing, or road schooling like us, this is how speech pathologists can help. And welcome to all of you this is the beautiful Branson, Missouri we're in right now. This is the beautiful, I don't know if you can see behind me here, this is the beautiful Lake Taneycomo behind me. And so good to see you guys on here. We don't normally join in live on Instagram for our free Fridays, but so those of you who are new, my name is Amy Miller. I'm a crunchy mom and researcher of all things natural for a little over a decade. And together with my husband, we are the founders of 3 Life Essentials, advocating wellness in all areas of our lives, in our spiritual health, in our healthcare choices, and in our lifestyle choices. And I'm also a speech language pathologist. I practiced for a little over 10 years, giving me a unique perspective on today's topic. And I worked mostly in early intervention and public schools, but I also spent some time working in adult inpatient and outpatient rehab facilities, and also in assisted living centers. And since that time, God has moved and shifted me into working on another type of team that's on a mission to help others with their health, continuing to support so many families and actually making an even bigger impact on the families, even more so than I used to, working as a speech pathologist. So this is Free Fridays. This is our weekly series, live on Fridays, to just really address freedom, really freedom to experience life more fully, more abundantly, and huge bonus if we can do it in natural ways, right? So let me know if you are, if you're on live, say hello, and let me know where you're joining in from. I'm trying to see if I can look on here and see if I can see me on live. Hey, Bethany, good to see you on here. Can you see and hear me okay? I can't see. Oh, here we go. Now I can see your comments. I was like, I cannot find us live anywhere. Okay, so now I can see. Hi, Katie. Good to see you. So I'm curious, how many of you know much about this topic? Even if you don't have kids, this is an important topic. May is Better Hearing and Speech Month. And so in honor of that, we really want to bring some more awareness to this topic, and share 8 ways that a speech language pathologist can help your child, whether they're, like I said, whatever aspect they are schooling in. If you or someone you know has a child that maybe you have some concerns, or you want to bring some more awareness to this topic, go ahead and click the share button and share this on your page, so that we can really, on your personal profile, so that people can get some support in these areas. And of course, at the end, I'm going to share some oils, some essential oils that also can support in these areas, some that you may have not thought about. So I'm going to open up my DIY kombucha bottle here, maybe, if I could use my muscles enough. It's in a branded bottle, but this is my homemade kombucha, and this is peach. Oh my goodness, so good. So today we're going to be free from fear. If you have some fears or some anxious thoughts about your child and what may be going on with his or her development, we're going to be free from impediments. We're going to free to have some answers today. We're going to be helping us be free to rock our health in 2019. Yes. Free to have your voice heard today. Yes. So this is Better Hearing and Speech Month, and I have a gift for those of you who are joining at the beginning. And we had some technical glitches at the beginning, so I can't share this graphic with you right now. But so I want you to put in the comments throat spray, because I have an amazing throat spray concoction that is used with your oils and just a tiny bit of stevia, because the oils that are in it are quite strong. But you're going to use this anytime you need just a little throat support. You're going to use this if you speak for a living, maybe for a teacher, or if you Bethany, I see you already want some, or you're going to just need a little help with your voice. Maybe you have a little hoarseness. If you are singing, maybe if you're a professional singer, or even if you're an amateur singer, this spray we keep on hand. And I was going to have it out here with me, and I don't even have it out here with me. So I'm going to give you the recipe. So if you want it, type in throat spray, and I will put those in. I will put the graphic in the comments for you after the live broadcast is over. Okay. So, so let's talk about the 8 ways that a speech pathologist can help in with your child. And if you have questions as we go forward, please put them in the comments. Send a private message to me. I'd be happy to really spend some time helping to try to guide you and give you some resources. We've talked about similar topics like this before. And so if you want some more information about that, just put that in the comments. I'd be happy to help. So as we talk through some of these ways that a speech path can help, or I might refer to speech language pathologist as an SLP, that stands for speech language pathologist, or speech path for short. We're going to be talking, I'm going to be using the reference he, but this is going to apply to boys and to girls. Okay. So, the first and most common way that you may think of as an SLP to help your child is with speech sounds. This may be kind of the most familiar way that you think of when you think of a speech language pathologist. When your child is maybe having trouble saying certain sounds, or he may not speak clearly, or maybe hard to understand. This is when a speech pathologist can help. And even if your child is homeschooled or even in a private school, your public school can provide, your speech language pathologist at the public school can provide an assessment for these areas. So that's the first way that an SLP can help. The second way is with listening and with speaking, reading, and writing. Your child may have some trouble understanding what he hears, or he may not follow directions or answer questions very well. It may be hard for him to tell others about his thoughts, or maybe he's not saying the correct words, or maybe he's only saying short sentences. But whatever the case may be, listening and speaking problems can also make reading and writing much harder. So this goes back to a topic we've talked about in the past of how early intervention is key. So if you don't address these things early on, they can begin to impact when you're going into school, even in bigger forms, when you're starting to do reading and writing. So again, this is where a speech language pathologist can come in and help. So what about social communication? This may be an area that you may have not thought of, but your child may have trouble talking with other children, maybe not really knowing how to make friends easily, or how to simply join in a game or start and stop different topics of conversation. This is something that really by design should be coming pretty naturally for kids. And if it's not coming naturally, then there maybe needs some help with intervention from the speech language pathologist. Maybe he doesn't understand what others think or how they feel. And this is all these aspects of social communication, body language, intonation, inflection, how you're saying things. you hear people say it's not what you say, it's how you say it. All those kinds of things play a part in this social communication aspect that an SLP can help with. So the fourth way that an SLP can help is with cognitive communication. So this is really where we're talking about brain support. These are thinking skills that your child needs to remember things that they're studying for on a test, how to solve problems, the steps that takes to solve out a problem that maybe they have before them, to use his imagination, all of those things. Sometimes learning disabilities and brain damage can cause these types of problems. And so this is another way that your speech path can come in and help. So some more significant ways, maybe even with assistive technology. That's the fifth way that an SLP can help. So sometimes children who are having difficulty speaking may benefit from using some kind of augmentative or an alternative communication system or display, or they may say words that they want to use on a communication board that looks much like an iPad or a tablet or a screen. And this is where speech language pathologists can help set up those systems and also figure out if your child could benefit from one of those. All right, let's talk about the last three. Now, if you're just joining in, you're definitely going to want to go back to the beginning. I shared how to get the throat spray, my magic throat voice singing spray that you're going to want. But let's talk about these last three ways that a speech path can help in your child's school. So number 6 is feeding and swallowing. This might probably be one of the least common ways that you may be aware of that a speech pathologist can help. So speech language pathologists are trained in the anatomy and physiology of anything basically from the diaphragm up through the rest of the body, okay? So all of that also involves feeding and swallowing. And children who have feeding and swallowing problems can make it hard for your child to eat and drink, obviously, during the day. So this also can make it hard for them to learn, and it can also affect social times, things like lunch or snack. Those might be harder for your child. So speech language pathologists can come in and actually assess those needs and provide assistance in those areas as well. The last two areas you may be a little bit more familiar with as well. Number 7 is with stuttering. Your child may have trouble, speaking smoothly. He may repeat sounds or words or have long pauses when he talks. Stuttering can really make it hard to answer questions or even give speeches in class. And so this can also make it hard to talk to friends. And this is an area that I worked for many years as well, and also addressed this in my own twins. So the last area that we want to talk about is with the voice. So your child may sound hoarse or may lose his voice, or he may sound like he talks through his nose. That's called nasality. His voice may either be too loud or too soft. Some kids may even be abusive to their voice, which creating voice problems, and those can make it hard to talk in class or with friends. And so all of these different areas are ways that speech language pathologists can help. Now, again, if you are in public school, you as a parent can actually request that a speech language pathologist can look at one of these areas. And you can actually, even if you are in a homeschooling situation or private school situation, you can also go to your public school. It does not enroll your child in public schools, but it will allow you to be able to receive those services that you're already paying for with your tax dollars. Okay, so I'm curious, have you ever used doTERRA to support in any of these areas, or have you ever even thought of using your oils to support in some of these areas? Put in the comments below because I'm curious to hear about this. Okay, so, and if you have any questions about those areas that a speech path can help, put those in the comments too. And I'd be happy to help. Okay, so the first oil I want to talk about, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 oils that I'm going to share with you. And some of these kind of go together really well. The first one is lavender. Lavender is actually the oil of communication. And it really helps with verbal expression. You guys, so you may have been using your lavender and realizing, yeah, it helps with my skin or calming down, or I help use it with sleep at night. But did you know that it can also help with just releasing tension, especially if your child is having trouble expressing themselves, expressing their innermost thoughts, feeling free from rejection, if they feel that they may say the wrong thing, or racing thoughts and feeling like they can't express themselves. This is actually an oil that you can diffuse. You could even put it in a roller bottle or use the lavender touch version and apply to the throat area. And really just pray over your child to be able to express themselves. I remember there was a time that I picked up on this with one of our twins earlier on. Just, I think from my training, I picked up on this, and I really just started applying this to his throat and really praying over him that he would be able to verbally tell me what the things that he needed and be able to express himself clearly. And so this is the oil of communication. Okay, next oil, spearmint. Spearmint is the oil of confident speech, and it goes really well with lavender when you're trying to address the areas of communication. So I'm pulling up here my information about a little bit more so I can tell you a little bit more about spearmint. How many of you love spearmint? I love putting a drop of this in my water, especially if I'm getting ready to speak at something, maybe go on live like this with you guys. Just a couple drops in your water. My sons love to do this in their water. Sometimes I'll let them do a drop in their water bottles to drink throughout the day. But this oil helps promote confidence in expressing yourself verbally, especially when you're speaking in front of groups of people. So maybe if your child has some challenges with stuttering and has to speak in front of the class, this can help give that sense of confidence. And so maybe he could put this on a diffuser bracelet, or put this in a roller bottle, or even add a drop in his water bottle before the day, and he can drink on it throughout the day and be smelling that and taking that in. But this one is really helpful in being able to articulate clearly, be courageous in speaking, and have that sense of clarity with that. Okay, so you guys liking this so far? Okay, so let's talk through. Now, if you're just joining in live, you're going to want to go back to the beginning and grab the magic throat spray that I'm sharing with you guys that helps with voice and speaking and your throat and all the things. And click the share button if you or somebody you know has some challenges with communication in some of those areas that we talked about, in speech sounds, or in listening and speaking, or feeding and swallowing, or with stuttering, or with their voice. Share this so that they can also benefit from some of this information as well. Okay, so let's talk about the last few oils. Hawaiian sandalwood. Now, this one is interesting because the benefits of this oil really provides a connection with people. So think back to when we were talking about that social communication aspect of kids maybe having trouble not knowing exactly how to join in a game, or how to connect with other kids, or how to start and stop different conversations and things. This is where this can come in handy, because this oil really kind of helps promote people being able to connect with others, kids being able to sense that connection with other people. And I actually enjoy putting that with the spearmint and the lavender. In fact, I love combining the sandalwood, the lavender, the spearmint, and also wild orange. And I have that as like a speaker's blend. I use it personally anytime I'm speaking before something. I didn't use it this morning. I probably should have. But it's another way to that your child could actually use this, because the wild orange also helps with any kind of anxious feelings. So your child may be having some anxious feelings about their speaking abilities with these areas, and you may not even be aware of it. And this is one way that you could help support them in this area and pray over them and really helping them to be able to feel more comfortable and confident in using their voice, in being able to communicate effectively, whether it's through their assistive technology device or whether it's through sign language or through their nonverbal communication as they're learning all of these areas. And then the last two oils I want to share with you that can support are frankincense. And you guys, frankincense is huge for brain health. And as we're talking about cognitive communication, as we're talking about speech sounds, as we're talking about listening and speaking and feeding and swallowing, all of those things are governed by those connections in our brain to be able to tell our body how to do those things well and more effectively. And frankincense, diffusing this, applying topically to the brainstem area back here behind the neck and even underneath, kind of behind here on these two occipital bone points in the back, are great ways to be able to help impact that area. And then the last one is DDR Prime Blend. Now this is a blend, you guys, that has frankincense in it. It has wild orange in it, lemongrass, thyme, summer savory, niaouli, clove, and litsea. It's a powerhouse blend. It's great for cellular repair, for cellular regeneration, and relieving inflammation. And what that means is it's a powerful combination to heal the body at a cellular level. So when our cells are stressed, it's known as like an oxidative stress, and it causes an array of problems in our body. And this is designed to help support our cells to be at our optimum health. Now,